Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the build. We are now on part 3 of our Polar Lights 1/1000th USS Reliant. And we're going to be starting out this week with the bridge and the sensor dome. So, let's get to work. So I want to take a look at our parts real quick. Here's our bridge. We have quite a bit of work to do on both of these guys. This edge here needs a lot of sanding and filing. There's a beacon light on the top, so we have to get rid of that little nub and drill a hole. On the back deck of this, back bulkhead, there are two lights on either side. We need to drill those in. That is in our way. We need to get rid of that little guy there. The one in the back, I'm going to keep that one, just to kind of line it up on the primary hull top. So that's that. This is going to require more work. We have tabs and we have a couple of recesses that we need to get rid of, or rather receivers we need to get rid of. That has to go. That one on the back has to go. There are a couple of receivers, pin receivers, or pins. I'm not sure what they are. Those got to go too. And then we have to file out recesses on each side. On the front there, on the side there, on the back. So quite a bit of filing to do on both these parts. We've sanded and filed away everything on the sensor dome. So now we're just going to test fit it in place. You can see, just have to center it now without those guiding pins. However, that does leave a lot of holes in our bottom where those pins went. There, and there. We have to fill those in. Here we have the bridge. I dremeled off that front tab and filed it a little bit and sanded it. Those pencil marks are to mark off where we need our detents on the front and either side of the bridge. Kept that last tab for this reason right here. So we can center it. It lines up right where we need it to. Fits quite nicely into place. I've now filed out those three detents on the bridge. That was quite a challenge, just to not take off too much material. That is a very, very tiny ledge there, but we managed to do it with our microfiles. Here's what it'll look like in place. Still have a little bit of work to do, but that's looking pretty good. We now have the same effect on our sensor dome. Same spiel. We've sanded and filed out those four corners, or are they cardinal directions? But regardless, they are now filed and sanded. I did this because I'm going to be lighting this from above. We'll put a 2mm somewhere in here, and that should provide enough illumination out of these four sides. The two in the sides and one at the rear aren't lit very bright. They're rather dim. You have to kind of pause the footage of the movie and squint to see that they are in fact lit. The main light from that is coming out from the front. It's those two red little beady eyes you see. Still have to fill in that saucer, but we'll get to that eventually. We now have more work done on our sensor dome. I've cut up some of my favorite plastic for sale sign and created these bulkheads that go on the inner side of our recesses. Two on either side because the center will get a nice clear piece, and that's where our light will be coming out of. With the exception being the front, there's two beady red eyes, so we had to put three pieces in there. I've been filling and sanding and filling, but we're finally done with this right here. So now we don't have to worry about there being holes. We can just plop this down, center it, and we will be fine. So as you can see, there will be light coming out the sides here, right about like that. The front up here will have our two lights, and then the bottom will have another light coming out of it. We have the bridge done as well. We got our pieces of plastic on the inside, 3 at the front, 4 on the sides. At least that's what I'm seeing. It's difficult to see in the footage how many are on the sides, but I did 4. Beacon light at the top, lights on the rear bulkhead there. Again, like the underside, we got a 2 mil we're going to put in there. And for the front and sides, we're going to be putting in this red transparency. You can actually see that the sides are also red. There's a shot of the bridge where you can see red light issuing from either side, so that's what I'm going to do. I also drilled a hole there on top. You can see it under my thumb. But that is the effect we're going to have once all is said and done. Sides and in the front, I think we're about ready to get some paint on these parts. While that paint is drying, I decided to drill holes all over my hull. So we got the beacon light holes drilled there, there, and there. Also at the rear, those 2 on top and the bottom. Same thing here. Those you got to be careful with. Very, very careful. There's not a lot of plastic there. So don't drill out your hull. Still have to drill that. But we will. Because of where those beacon lights were in the front and sides, I had to sand and file down that ridge, that mounting ridge, so that we can get some light in there. Not a big deal. Just took my microfile, got rid of that ridge. Not a problem. Same thing on the underside. I had to do little tiny notches just to make sure I can get some light into there. Doing some work on our rear bulkhead. I've sanded and filed out those little notches there for the impulse engine. I've also taken our clear pieces, removed those pegs, and sanded the backside for some diffusion. I left a little tiny bit of a lip on either side so that we have somewhere to mount said clear pieces. Also, to no one's surprise, yeah, we'll be putting red film in there. I've also drilled out those 2 holes on either side for our lights. There you go, that side too. You see a little notch up there. That little notch up there, that's how I was thinking of doing the lights. There's 3 more lights that I had to put in there, but they're all on seams. So what we're going to do, once I illustrate it by putting this together with one hand, which is not very easy, just saying. But yeah, all those lights are on seams, top and bottom. So what I'm going to do here is assemble this, glue this together, get some seam work done, and then drill those holes in on the top and the bottoms. And this isn't even the hard part of this part, you guys. Yeah, we'll put 2 in the bottom, 1 on the top. Everything will be fine, won't it? We have a completed roll bar, and try to ignore that little divot and that grill on the left-hand side. I don't know where that came from, but I have to live with it. Seam is crispy and done. Anything that needed touched up is touched up. We have our sensor dome here, all completed, all painted up. Silver on the top, some silver details on the sides, black underneath. I put some white transparencies in there, and some red at the front. Difficult to see unless I do that. There they are. There. White in the sides. Our bridge here is still under construction, or rather under painting. We have some black in the recesses there at the front, and on that side, and on this side. Light blocking underneath there. I might have to put another coat on, but we need silver on that dome, and some gray that goes from the back and around the top there, and that'll be complete. And there are lights at the back, just to show and to remind you. Our nacelles are also finally done. I've did all the detail paint, done all the detail paint. It is done, I promise. Copper on the inside there, blue at the front, that black to get into those recesses at the front. Took my smallest brush and a very steady hand, reinforced by another hand that was not so steady. So detail painting done on port and starboard. Those are ready to rock and roll. Next time we have to do these guys. We have windows. I have ideas on how to do these windows. We will see if that works out, if my ideas come to fruition. But lots of little windows to put on there. And some schmutz on my finger. We'll just get that off. Of course, we'll be dealing with that back bulkhead as well. Yeah. So, hopefully getting some lights in here. Getting some lights in the primary hull. But that is where I'm going to call for this week, you guys. Want to thank everyone for watching. Want to thank all my old subs and all my new subs. You guys are equally rad. And until next time, you guys take care.